Now is a lawmaker from that state, Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz, who serves on foreign affairs and oversight committees. Good morning, Congressman. I wonder what you do make of what's happening in Nebraska, in South Carolina, especially given your home state just recently had the governor sign that 6-week abortion ban.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing, and we saw it last year in Kansas, is we're seeing, Republicans starting to push back on, the extreme policy that is being pushed by MAGA Republicans across the country. It's going too far. I mean, the Republican Party used to be the party of government out of your lives, government out of your bedroom, and now they want to use government to control every aspect of your life. And so, look, abortion is a women's health issue. You're seeing women in this country starting to push back. We always told people the Dobbs decision was not about returning it back to the states, that they wanted the Dobbs decision because they wanted to get rid of abortion. And now America is seeing that happen. So obviously I'm encouraged to see Republicans standing up and fighting against the extreme wings of their party.
Yeah, it was remarkable to see those representatives in South Carolina. Speaking of Governor DeSantis, though, obviously you are from Florida. He's also still in this feud with Disney, where Disney has now sued him over this, saying that essentially he's retaliating against them. Do you think that's going to hurt his chances at trying? I mean, you've worked with him, you know him. Do you think it's going to hurt his consideration of running in 2024?
Yeah, look, I don't know that the Disney thing is going to be a national issue should the governor decide to get into the presidential race. I mean, aspects are pointing that direction, obviously. But, again, I go back to the fact that the Republican Party used to be a party of small government, limited government. It used to be a party of, letting corporations have freedom. And now it's all about using government, using the hands of government to bend corporations to their will. We just saw this with the whole, Bud Light issue. I mean, Republicans used to be the ones that would say, oh, the left is woke, or, we have all this activism. And meanwhile, Bud Light does something that they don't like, and immediately they want to boycott. And so, it's interesting to watch the Republican Party completely remake itself, in the years after Trump, for a party that wants big government, a party that wants government in your life, a party that wants to using government to tell corporations what they can and cannot do. And so we are in very interesting times as we see a new, more extreme Republican Party start to go mainstream.
Speaking of what's happening where you are on Capitol Hill, we just saw Republicans barely got their proposal when it came to the debt ceiling passed. You joked that the Limit, Save, Grow Act sounded like it was a slogan for the hair club for men, but it did get passed, and now Republicans say the ball is in Senator Schumer's court and the White House's court. Do you think it's time for the White House to start engaging with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy?
Well, listen, my position from the beginning is I think the President of the United States and the Speaker of the House should always be talking, even if those talks are not productive. The President wants to have breakfast with the Speaker, lunch and dinner, and tell the Speaker his position every time hasn't changed, so be it if that's necessary. But I always think they should always be talking. I mean, we have passed a clean debt ceiling almost 80 times since 1960. We've done it almost 50 times under Republicans. We did 3 times under President Trump, 2 times with Republican control under President Trump. And so all of a sudden, there's a change of position. We have to pay our bills. It's funny, Republicans want to lecture students that they don't need student debt relief, that students should pay their bills. Meanwhile, Republicans up here don't want to pay America's credit card. Families don't have that option. When their credit card bill comes in the mail, they have to pay. And so, listen, it's very dangerous what's happening up here. I am someone who is very concerned that we could go off the cliff, because I know MAGA Republicans, the Freedom Caucus, is the one, unfortunately, calling a lot of the shots. We see them continue to take their party up here hostage. They hold out their votes. They hold out their votes. The package becomes more extreme, which means it has no chance in the Senate. And so, look, we'll have to see what the Senate does now. Maybe this goes to conference. But, look, there's going to have to be some sort of negotiation so that we're not in the last final days, because even getting that close to the debt ceiling will have catastrophic consequences to the economy.
You said you're concerned. Do you think we're closer to a default as a country today?
I think because of how much power the Freedom Caucus has right now in the House, I think we are closer to defaulting. To be clear, there are people here in the chamber that want to see us default because they think that's politically advantageous. They want to see us default because they think that that is what their constituents want. Look, you're talking to a Democrat who believes that we should cut back government spending. As families start to tighten their spending, so should government. But holding hostage the debt ceiling can be so catastrophic. You're talking maybe $10 trillion worth of damage. And by the way, for my Republican colleagues who talk about China, talk about how we had to create a China Select Committee, they want to get tougher on China, they're worried about the dollar. Nothing could be a bigger gift to China than playing around with the debt ceiling.
You obviously disagree with Republicans and what they've passed, including part of that was blocking President Biden's plan on student loan forgiveness. But it seems clear that you think the White House position, which is we're not going to negotiate, is unsustainable.
Listen, Joe Biden has shown his entire career, it's why he's president, that he is someone who will always negotiate, he'll always talk. And so, listen, I have faith that Joe Biden and the speaker will sit down and we'll talk. I just think that, in D.C. we should always be talking. We should never say we're not going to speak to folks across the aisle. I don't think that's a sustainable position.
But so you say the White House's position right now, because the president has said, I'll talk to him about the budget, but I'm not going to talk to him about attaching concessions to this. And that has still been his position right now, saying he's not going to negotiate. So you are saying that is unsustainable.
Yeah, and that's been my position from the beginning. I always think that the President of the United States and the Speaker should always be talking.
Well, we'll see when they do talk, if and when. Congressman Jared Moskowitz, thanks so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.